The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. 1. Look behind you. Tom, there has no reply. Tom, there has no reply. Where is he? Said Aunt Polly. She went to the door of the kitchen and looked into the garden. Tom, she shouted again. There has no reply from the garden. The Aunt Polly heard a noise in the kitchen. She turned around, and she saw Tom. He came out of the food cupboard. He ran toward the door. Aunt Polly grabbed his jacket and he stopped. Why were you in the food cupboard? She asked. Then she saw Tom's mouth. It has bright red. I know, she said. You were eating my fruit. Tom, you are a bad boy. The old lady lifted her hand. She was going to hit Tom. Look behind you, Aunt Polly, said Tom. Aunt Polly let go of Tom's jacket and turned around quickly. Tom ran away. He ran into the garden and climbed over the fence. Tom Sawyer, said Aunt Polly. Then she noted. He always played tricks on me, she said to herself. I never learned. It has 1844. Tom has 11 years old. He lives in St. Petersburg, Missouri. St. Petersburg has a town on the Mississippi River in North America. Tom's parents were there. He lived with his father's sister, Aunt Polly. Tom has not cleaned and tidied. He did not help Aunt Polly with the housework. He often behaved badly, but Aunt Polly loved him very much. Aunt Polly loved Tom, but she worried about him too. Tom must behave better, she said to himself. He must obey me. He must be a good boy. He stole my fruit and I will punish him. He must do some work. Tomorrow is Saturday. There is no school on Saturday. Tomorrow Tom will paint the fence. 2. The fence. It has Saturday morning. There has no school today, but Tom had to work. He had to paint the fence. It has a long fence around the garden of Mount Polly's house. Tom has a big bucket of paint and a brush with a long handle. He looked at the fence. I want to go swimming. I want to go fishing. I want to play with my friends, said Tom to himself. I don't want to paint the fence. My friends will all see me. They will laugh at me. Tom started to paint. After an hour, Tom was tired. He looked sadly at the big bucket of paint and the brush with the long handle. Then Tom had an idea. He smiled. He started to paint the fence again. Soon he saw one of his friends, Ben Rogers. Ben was walking towards him. He was making strange noises. Ben has a steamboat on the Mississippi River. Tim Allen, he said. He was making the noise of the bell on the steamboat. Shh, shh, he said. He was making the noise of the steam in the engine of the steamboat. Ben has holding a big red apple. I'm going to swim, Ben said. You have to work. I'm not working, said Tom. There isn't work. Do you like painting the fence? Asked Ben. He has surprise. Yes, said Tom. Tom started to paint again. Sometimes he stopped and looked at the fence. Then he painted again. There has a happy smile on his face. Ben watched him. Let me paint the fence, he said. No, said Tom. It's very difficult to paint a fence. Ben has not happy. Tom liked painting the fence. So Ben wanted to paint the fence. Please, let me paint it, he said. I will give you some of my apple. Tom thought for a minute. No, he replied, and he smiled and started to paint again. I will give you all of my apple, said Ben. Tom thought for another minute. All right, he said. So Tom sat down and started to eat Ben's apple. And Ben started to paint the fence. After an hour, Ben was tired. He gave the bucket of paint and the brush to Tom. Then he went away. He made the noises of a steamboat again, thin a link. Shh, shh. Then Tom saw another friend, Bill Fisher. Billy has holding a kite. Ben has painting your fence, said Billy. Let me paint your fence. No, replied Tom. Lots of boys want to paint my fence, but it's very difficult to paint a fence. Oh, said Billy. Ben gave me his apple, said Tom. Then he painted the fence. I will give you my key, said Billy. Tom thought for a minute. All right, he said. So Tom sat down. He had holding Billy's key, and Billy started to paint the fence. The morning passed. The fence has painted trees. Tom has a crate, a cat, and a long piece of rope. He had a cake, 12 round stones, and a metal door handle. He was happy. He went to speak to Aunt Polly. The fence is painted, he said, and there is no more paint. Aunt Polly was very surprised. You are a good boy, said Tom. She said,